animal advocate. Hemp jewelry designer. The disabled community faces a lack of legal representation. To show you the silent struggle and the legal void that the disabled community faces, I'd like to tell a story about Mark.
Hi, my name's Mark. I'm 46 years old. I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and I love aviation. In my spare time, I enjoy making jewelry and working out.
How many of us like to work out at the gym? Next time you are at the gym, take a look around to see what the accommodations are for the disabled community. This is Mark's story.
Throughout my life I have had to advocate for my dignity and respect, but one example stands out amongst the rest. Years ago, I had a gym membership. I enjoy working out as it is physically and mentally therapeutic. On this particular day, I needed to change into my gym clothing as I was coming from the university that I was attending. It is also important to note that I was not a new member of this gym. At that time, I had been going to that particular facility for almost a year. As I checked in at the front desk, I asked if they had a separate changing room because I was working with a female caregiver. In response, they addressed my caregiver, and not me, by saying, "Why can't you take him in the women's locker room and help him change?" After my caregiver explained to them the violation of escorting a male into the women's locker room, their next statement was, "It would be weird if we allowed a woman to help a man in our gym. You need to change in the car." This incident took place over 15 years ago, yet I still remember my self-awareness. In that moment, I felt dehumanized. First, I was an object not deserving of personal privacy. The gym was in a busy shopping center, and I did not feel that I should need to change in the middle of foot traffic. This was not only discrimination based upon my disability, but it was also discrimination based upon my gender. Next, the public display of humiliation was embarrassing. This interaction took place at the front desk where other gym members were walking in and out of the gym. Lastly, this was an interaction with the manager of the gym, and I felt that this was both unprofessional and discriminatory. I left the gym that day feeling like a victim of a crime, but I also knew that this interaction was representative of a larger issue in society. People with disabilities are underrepresented and need to fight for their most basic human rights. I did not return to the gym for months following this event. During this time, I wrote a letter to the corporate office of this gym and also searched for legal representation. It was very difficult to find legal representation regarding discrimination of a person with a disability. Most of the representation that I found focused on the disability itself. It took about 3 months before I received any response from a lawyer. Through communications, I was told that, when I went back to the gym, the issue would be rectified. When I went back to the gym after 4 months, I was offered a small storage office to change in. There were table, chairs, and boxes filling the room, and it was a struggle to get my wheelchair inside the office. Other times, when they, quote, couldn't find keys to the office, unquote, I was offered a storage room to change in that was filled with toilet paper, cleaning supplies, and janitorial equipment. I canceled my gym membership shortly after, because the conditions that I was offered were inadequate in relation to my self-worth.
This is Mark's brother, Phil. This is his reaction after he listens to
I
Mark's
was told
story.
that when I went back to the gym, the issue would be rectified. When I went back to the gym after 4 months, I was offered a small storage office to change in. There were table, chairs, and boxes filling the room, and it was a struggle to get my wheelchair inside the office. Other times, when they, quote, couldn't find keys to the office, unquote, I was offered a storage room to change in that was filled with toilet paper, cleaning supplies, and janitorial equipment. I canceled my gym membership shortly after, because the conditions that I was offered were inadequate in relation to my self-worth. Upon reflection about this incident, my thoughts are that opportunity is embedded in life experiences. This experience was an opportunity for me to maintain my dignity, advocate for myself, and find alternative locations to work out.
How does it make you feel hearing about Mark's story, Phil?
And obviously, it's pretty upsetting to know that my brother deals with those kind of issues when we don't look at him as somebody that's disadvantaged like that. Mark doesn't have a disability to me, and so we treat him as such, and it's kind of it's a little eye-opening for me to know that people view him in a different manner, because he's so smart and he's just like he's no different than you and me, and it's pretty disheartening to know that those struggles for him exist. And I'm not sure where the breakdown in the system is, where he'd have to search for 3 months for a lawyer to help him. I really don't know, like, what programs are in place, or what things that he has access to help in this situation. And if there's nothing, there definitely needs to be some sort of legal advocacy for people with disabilities. It's pretty disheartening. It's not a fun thing to hear.
At that point in my life, my way of coping with any type of negativity was through alcohol abuse. I did not address my feelings about this particular situation until you asked me about it. As I reflect upon this experience, I was shocked, hurt, and offended. But I'm mindful that it was not a personal attack upon me. This experience illustrates that people with disabilities are still unequal compared to able-bodied people. Unfortunately, people with disabilities face these types of discriminatory situations as a part of normal life. I cannot offer any type of course of action because each incident has its own set of variables. But, if one is going to act, do so with a macro purpose. I sought legal action as a way to improve gym access for those who are not able to advocate for themselves.